Stewart, I'm gonna miss you, man. You were one of the best teachers that I've ever had. We went through a lot. We talked a lot about film equipment. I was always coming to you and coming into your class and interrupting and showing you the new things that I bought that you and I went over.
So this semester was my first semester with Stewart, and he walked in on the first day and talked about hertz and sound wave science for like 2 hours or more. I think he went over class time, but it was really interesting. And I'm like, okay, this guy's a film teacher, but he's got a lot to say, and I was really excited to learn from him.
He made like this wooden wall look like a dirty freaking bathroom from like Train Spotting or something, and I remember he was laughing because he was like, oh, it looks like Train Spotting, and he was really proud. Like, no, but it was really good. I would really miss him.
He was very funny. He was very kind. I enjoyed his company. And he definitely had lots of experience in the world of filmmaking and film editing. And I really did enjoy his class.
It's a lot different on this side of the chair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But, what's there to say about Will that hasn't been said already? And, the reason I'm saying it like that is because I've been sitting here for the past 2 weeks with David and John going over these things and listening to these students talk about these amazing stories of Will. It's remarkable.
No, he's the reason I stayed in film school. I kind of came to Pima to kind of see what it was all about.
Yeah.
And I stayed through, my first class was his editing class. That was my first class here ever. And that class is the reason I stayed. I learned so much. I was kind of like you, where I was like, editing, I've done it before. But I got humbled really quick, and he had a lot to teach, so I ended up sticking with the class and passing, and then sticking with the program all the way through.
There's not many people, especially teachers, like, in your life, I feel like, that make an impact, on you.
I met Will almost 2 years ago. I remember the warmth, the passion, the knowledge he brought to many of us. He was more than just an instructor. He was a friend, a mentor, a guiding light.
Asked him, how do you do this? How do you make a living like this? And he told me, just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's going to be okay. And it was so simple, but that was such a great conversation to have with him.
Because of him, I have a lot more self-confidence in myself and in my films and things like that. And even though I had a lot more to learn from him and a lot more encouragement that I needed from him, the time that I did have was very helpful, and I don't regret anything.
And he pulled me aside. He pulled me into I was gonna say Robert, into Loomis's office, and he's like, "Hey, so what does this kid have to do to pass? Both of our classes. What does he have to do to go on to the next classes?" And he really vouched for me. He really did vouch for me. And if it really weren't for him, I literally probably wouldn't be here. I probably would have dropped out or something. I don't know. And who knows what would happen.
I love the way he just went into crazy detail and was very passionate, and you can tell that in the way he spoke about things.
What made you want to call him Will was that when
he was talking to you. He gave you this feeling like he was right there in the trenches with you, and that you both were figuring it out, and you both would get out of it together, and then you'd laugh about it later.
Really admired, and that I was extremely surprised to find out that he was not a teacher until he was brought on here, because I would see him constantly in the hallways way after hours of his classes, surrounded by a group of 10 or so students, teaching them about the latest cameras, or about just chatting about movies, or anything else that they wanted answers on.
Just like I picture him with his Polar Pop.
Yes, the Polar Pop. The look of judgment. I think, yeah, just all of us would wait in line to talk to him about all the questions that we had, and he was just so happy to help all of us. And you don't really find that many teachers, I think, that especially just have a passion for what they do, and he was one of the teachers in the film program that, I mean, you could tell that he loved what he did.
I will always remember there was this one time in his video editing class where I completely messed this project, absolutely botched it. And he was like, "What the is that?" And I was like, "Is that not how I was supposed to do?" He's like, "No." And I was like, he's like, "But just do it again. Do it the right way." And he let me learn. That was a learning experience for me, and I will always hold that dear.
I think this is my favorite, though, off of what Dalton had said, of course. But instead of faulting us for any missed assignments or being late, he showed us his humanity and his relatability, and giving us advice instead of penalizing us.
That project, build a memorial fit to honor the sacrifice of those who died on the USS Arizona. Will Stewart's vision helped give the memorial its final design. He had some help, though, to capture the gravity of this event in a tabletop memorial.
The important part of this entire memorial is the fact that there is an actual piece of the Arizona sitting here.
Bracing the iron table is an actual link from the anchor chain of the USS Arizona.
He was such a wonderful, warm person. He encouraged everybody. The happiest, I had a personal happy moment in there when I got to stump him when on one of the projects where he had to guess, what lines were 80 yard into the little short, and he couldn't pick mine out. I was like, yes.
And the first day, pretty much you come in, just said hello, and he was late, which I thought was hilarious. I noticed right away that he was wearing this damn Nostromo hat from Alien. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And he was wearing a thick T-shirt. At the end of the class, I just want to say, hey, how you doing? My name's Sean, and I love your hat. And he was literally drinking his pop. He sits down and goes, you're the only person ever to say something about this. He goes, I wear this hat every day, and no one says a word about it. And, from then on, we just kind of started BSing back and forth.
I know people don't last forever. I know we're all gonna leave soon, but I promise I'm gonna put my films on the biggest screens for you so you can watch it. I promise you that.
And you just made things more and more exciting. And there's probably a lot more I would want to talk to you about, especially with hunting. Before you were gone, we just started talking about hunting. I didn't know that you were an active hunter until just a few weeks ago, and that was something I really wanted to talk to you about.
I hope he knows the spark he's made in this program and in the next generation of filmmakers. His family should be proud of him. He's done a lot, and I really appreciate him, and I will miss him. But it makes me want to go harder and makes me want to keep going. I will always have him in my heart.
He will still be remembered and will be with so many people of his extended family from all these classes and all the students that he taught, his coworkers that he was with. It was just he's just an amazing person, and he will be certainly missed by so many.
He was a friend, he was a mentor, he was a teacher, film dad for sure. Yeah.
Very selfless. I mean, he
Very
devoted so much
selfless.
time to
Oh,
us,
wow.
personal and academic.
Mhm.
He really,
He cared. That's a man who cared.
He cared.
Yeah.
yeah.
He cared.
We're forever grateful for his guidance, his friendship, and his unwavering belief in our potential. He will sorely be missed.
And I'm sad that I didn't get to learn more from him, but I'm glad that I got to learn from him during the time that I was still able to. So I'm very grateful for him for doing that.
He will be missed. He will always be in my heart and in my thoughts. And may he forever rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Will. And if ever I do anything, I'll make sure your name's on there. Because God knows you deserve to be there.
I learned so much from him. I'm very thankful for it.
Rest easy, Will. It was an honor working with you.
But I just want to say thank you again, Mr. Stewart. Appreciate you.
He was such a great person. He was one of my favorite people.
I'm very grateful that he was in my life. So
Miss you, buddy. I'll see you soon one day. Love you.
So I'm gonna make this short and sweet. I miss Will every day. There isn't a day that's gone by so far that I haven't thought of him, and I imagine this is probably gonna go on for the rest of my life. He's such a huge loss to our program, but to me personally, irreplaceable. As a friend, as an inspiration, as someone that I looked up to, and that's someone who encouraged me. Every time we talked, no matter how many times I would see him in a day, I would be overjoyed to see him every time. And it was really great having that person to rely on for inspiration and help. The amount of advice that I relied on him for was incalculable, and it's just a hole that won't ever be filled. However, I just know who he was and how I felt about our conversations together, knowing that he would be very upset if I didn't do everything to speed up and get my projects done as soon as possible, because I know that's the main thing he was worried about, was not finishing his projects, and this is something we talked about a lot. So I miss you, brother. You will not be replaced. I can't wait to hang out with you again, man. Love you.
My soul